3D has really good auto-topology tools. There are three of them. One is called Auto-paw, another one is instant meshes, and another one is all-style triangulation. So the main one is Auto-paw, and you can see here the quality here is really good. I'm using a really complex object. It's my scooter sketch, and it's performing almost like an AI level topology on certain objects. Then we have instant meshes. That's not exactly 3D code, but a third-party plugin that's inside 3D code. It's giving you a decent result, but not as good as if you compare to the level of detail here, level of mesh. And then we have all-style triangulation, which is pretty much all really messy, giving you a lot of diamond shape quads all around and really not giving you anything great. Now I'm in the sculpting room, so if I right click on the layer, I will see the auto-paw option here, and it gives me 4 options for auto topology. The auto topology here will be the same. It's all these options for p-text, macro-vertex painting, or per pixel painting. They will create some UVs for you to use later. However, the topology algorithm is the same. So let's go and click on Auto-paw. And here I have my own settings already set up. It took me a fair amount of time to put the settings that were really good. Maybe like 20 minutes. So we'll put 15,000 instead of 5,000. Capture details is set at 80%, though by default it's at 50. Then I don't take hard surface with topology, though I have a hard surface object. I think I have some complex geometry there. It's kind of intersecting into itself. So it's really cool. Has hard time trying to figure out it, and it will give you just a 0 result. It will not create a topology. It will take like 2 minutes doing it, but will not do anything at all. So voxelize before triangulation. I already have a voxel layer, but I just press it there anyway, just in case, and then it will decimate the model if it's above certain poly count. So click OK. Now we have the density modulation, so you can paint the more dense areas. In this particular case, it will make more sense to paint the areas which are super skinny to get more density there. And I wasn't really getting this part of the model anyway, just because I don't really have that much poly count to get anything going there, but I'll get the basic shape. Then you can start placing some strokes around, and it actually says here, so not to use the strokes until you really need them. So I didn't really find the actual use for them here. And I usually try to make it pretty fast, right? So I want to make it run fast in a few minutes, not spend half an hour painting this stuff and then testing it, because you have to paint it, test it, paint it, test it, and it will take a lot of time. It's more useful if you have some organic model and you want to get a really proper edge flow on the face, on the arms. This is where I think it comes handy. Meanwhile, the auto topology algorithm does a pretty good job by itself. So now it will go and do all the operations, and it's going to take a while. It can take couple of minutes. I would say that this auto topology is fairly slow. And this is what I get in the end, a really nice even flow all around the object. Yeah, there are some problematic areas right here. It's still not too bad if I hide this. Okay, that doesn't look great. I would really just separate this wheel and try to auto-topologize it individually instead of trying to do it with the whole object. Here I'm running like really hardcore tests to get it right. And you can see here as well, it didn't really capture that particular part. However, when I look at the parts like this, they're really nice. Oh, this wheel, almost perfect. Again, if we had it actually separated as a particular object, a singular object, it would have been a much better job done. Next auto topology feature that's really useful, I would call the per pixel painting auto topology. p-text is not that useful because, first of all, here it crashed and I couldn't get any results out, so you have to have a bit more simple model. Macro-vertex painting, you're essentially painting on the vertices, and then it kind of gets baked to the model. So this is the most interesting. Again, we get the same window, and in this case, I'll just click on bypass density and stroke, so I don't really have to do that again. And that will start to do auto topology on the fly. And let's give it a minute to do it. Then we get the baking video, and we'll talk about baking more in the future. However, just what I want to do is change the auto in a shell. You want to make it to be fairly small, otherwise it can actually crash if it's too big. Then I hit OK, and it will create the uh, it will give you the options for the creation of the texture. I'll go off auto mapping and hit OK. And as a result, here we get somewhat decent UVs. I mean, some of the UV islands are too small, so you can play around with the settings for creation of the UVs. However, again, if you need something really quick, this is pretty decent. Another option is the all-style quadriangulation, which I already said is pretty bad, and it's really easy to make. So you can see, just adjust the amount of polygons you want to run through and make, and then create it. But I would recommend against it. Then we have instant meshes. The next video will be about that. And we do have the Retopology decimation. This one is really easy as well. You can just put the amount of polygons you want to have in the end, and that will get your triangulated decimated model on the output. And you can see also here I have my symmetry activated. That helps with the doing symmetrical topology.